So, as of recording on this episode, I have finished the last episode, last to now, episode of FGO in a nutshell, which has been a really fun series to make.
I can tell because you came in with so much fucking energy in the beginning.
Yeah, and it's also really fucking like tiring and stressful. I can't lie, because like
this just in, content creation is hard.
I think there's parts of it that came like really easy to me. Like the editing is like really easy once you get like into the flow. The scripting is really easy when you get into the flow. No, the thing that fucking sucks is like every single episode I would post, someone would be like, "Oh, where's X servant?" And it's like, dude,
See,
can you read the pinned comment?
but
For the love of God.
But this is because you have made the sour mistake of trying to cater to Fate fans.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Look, I know we're the good ones, all right? but
like here's the thing with that though. It's like you would think that people have like the ability to like before they comment, "Hey, where's person?" They'd either watch to the end of the video where I say, "Hey, this is what's going on." Or they would read the pinned comment that says, "Hey, this is what's going on," instead of just immediately commenting, "Hey, yo, where's Morgan?"
You are giving YouTube watchers way too much credit.
See, but that's the thing, though. That's the thing, because like at this point, I'm convinced that like there's just they're all either trolling or it's like they just like someone finds it funny because it's like my videos all have like at least a 97% liked ratio, so it's like. Either this one person is really upset that I didn't talk about fucking Anne, Bonnie, and Mary Reed.
I mean, is it always the same person?
It's like always different people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was like one person that's like, I don't know. Every now and again I'll get like the one person that I like, "Ayo, this is what's going on. This is why I have this cutoff date." And they're like, "That makes sense. I look forward to seeing you in the next one." Because like that's a majority of the comments. A majority of them by far are just like, "This is really funny.
This is funny.
Yeah.
Good work."
Yeah. I think the only thing that like actually is like kind of tilting with it is when there's one person that's like, it is like always a different person. I don't want to like single anybody out.
Yeah.
But there's like always like at least one commenter that's like, "Hey, yo, you like," I'll talk about like Tamamo and they'll put Tamamo something that's significantly less funny than what I put, and I'm just sitting there like, this is
why I'm doing this.
Basically.
And not you.
It's like
know your place.
and that's what I realized, like how like my brain just is built for content creation.
Yeah.
Because like this shit is just so easy to me, and like I find it hilarious.
That's what I kept trying to tell you when you made the first one. Was I was like, your brain just works in ways that I couldn't even possibly fathom.
So and just like the entire like thing with it is just like, would I find my own content funny? Like what would I laugh at? And then I just make that.
Pretty much. And that's the way to do content creation. As long as you're enjoying it, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, basically.
That is your reminder that if you have not gone and checked out Dean's videos yet, go look at them. They're very funny.
I'm also wondering how the hell you're here.
How the hell I'm here?
No, how the hell like anyone that hasn't been watching my shit is
yeah,
here.
I don't. Yeah,
because like I'm like 90% of the advertising. Let's be honest.
There's gonna be a weird like one person who's like, "I've never heard of that."
What's Fate Grand Order?
They're gonna be the one person that skipped the first Fate episode.
Yeah, they
jumped on this episode.
You know what it is? That person is Cole. They don't watch the Fate episodes. They watch everything else.
I think he watched the Fate episode.
I think he did too.
Yeah.
I think he just had it on in the background while he's doing something else.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Nah. PokeCole37 is the goat.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah.
Seven nights.
Yeah.
Goat.
Like genuinely like really good. I think like that's something that I really appreciate about Cole. How he's like genuinely really smart about picking apart media.
Yeah,
it comes across very well in his fucking video essays.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know it, Cole is our buddy on YouTube. I believe he still has his YouTube name as Seven Nights.
I believe so.
Reference to Tsukihime. But he does a lot of analytical anime videos and things and of the like, and he's very good at it. He picks apart things very well. He knows what he's talking about a lot of the times, and if you have not checked out his videos, you absolutely should, because he's very good at what he does.
No, definitely talking to him has opened my eyes to like how important things like analyzing the direction of a scene.
No, he 100% helped me like understand what's like good direction and what's bad direction, and help me like rework how I feel, like how I not necessarily how I feel about things, but how I think about analyzing certain scenes and things like that, which definitely changed my opinion on a couple things because of it. But
I definitely think that like my tastes have like evolved over time, just like naturally, like every human being's does.
Yeah.
But like especially talking to him, it's like okay, I can understand why you don't like certain shows that I used to like, or like why you don't like a certain show that I like. But it's like I will still disagree with him fairly adamantly about a handful.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And that's just like human nature.
Yeah, and what the main thing that he's helped me with is like not having knee-jerk reactions to things, you know? Just like immediately saying, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever."
Yeah.
And then realizing 2 months down the road, it wasn't really that good.
Rascal.
Rascal does not. Yeah.
Rascal.
I'm surprised you said that and not Danganronpa.
I mean, I was gonna let you live that one out and not bring it up again. But you brought the life on yourself, Chief.
That is a wound that is still healing.
Is it?
Is it healing? I'm a recovering Danganronpa fan.
Hi, Jace.
Hi. Danganronpa's anonymous.
Basically, same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. And I'll never forget pissing off Braden with the analysis of Blue Lock is just soccer Danganronpa.
That was episode 2.
That was great.
You should go check that out, except for the fact that our mic quality is dog ass.
Yeah, don't go back and watch the video, actually.
I mean, you could, if you want to see where we were in the past.
Oh, God. From then to now is just like, holy shit.
Even though that was only like 8 months ago?
Was that 8 months ago?
It was something like that.
It was a long-ass time ago, but it wasn't 8 months.
Let me fact-check that really quick.
I was going to say, it was not... I refuse to believe that it was 8 months ago, but it was definitely been a minute.
Let's see. YouTube Studio.
Hold up. We're getting the numbers. We're pulling it back up.
I'm pulling them back up. Content.
Holy shit. We have content. That's insane.
6 months ago.
6 months ago. Okay.
6 months ago. So
that was
decent.
That
was decently close.
Yeah. No, that tracks.
Yeah. So, but yeah, 7 Nights. Go check him out. He's very good.
Yeah.
And I know we already said watch Dean's video. I plan on making stuff soon. I'm just still trying to wrap my head around what exactly I want to do. So
I think you've got a pretty good idea for like what you want your first.
Yeah, I think my first video I'll probably try writing is gonna be like my top 10 favorite anime per tags.
Yeah,
just because I have a pretty good reference now, especially after what our main topic is going to be today. Which we will get to in a second after we go through our drink of the day.
Hold on, what are we? What's the name?
Oh
of the
my God!
podcast?
Wait, you're right. I forgot.
My guy.
Speaking of,
nailed it.
Speaking of drinking and being ignorant, welcome to Kotalksu.
Adelaide,
the talk show.
Let's
at Kotalksu.
go.
Yeah, whatever. So. Today we actually initially had a different plan going into today because we were actually going to record our first like non-podcast video. I'm not going to spoil exactly what it's going to be, but
then I made Jace read all of Oshi no Ko, and yeah.
So we're going to talk about Oshi no Ko today because the new chapter just came out.
Yeah. But first,
and there's a lot of
There's a lot of awesome stuff we'll talk about in a minute.
There's a lot of people talking about it. So we're gonna get to that in a second after we go through what I mentioned earlier. Drink of the day.
Woo!
So,
what are we drinking? I'm gonna do the Terry Tear on the top.
Today we are drinking a wonderful little bottle that I bought in Minneapolis about a year ago that I have not opened yet. For those of you who don't know, Old Ezra is or I guess Ezra Brooks is a particular type of bourbon brand that you can find in most stores. You can find Ezra Brooks pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
But the particular kind of bourbon that they have that's a little bit harder to come by is Old Ezra, specifically the 7-year. And I actually got very lucky. I went to a liquor store in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they had a lot of cool stuff. I got a couple like store picks there. But this one in particular was sitting behind the shelf, and I knew at that point how hard this thing was to find. And I asked the guy, I was like, "How much are you selling it for?" He goes, "Well, like $50."
That's a steal. For
I
that
was
bottle.
like, "What?"
That is a steal for that.
$50? Because keep in mind, everyone, this is Old Ezra 7-year barrel strength, which is like Old Ezra 7-year itself is already very hard to come by. Okay, cutting in here really quick just to correct myself because I'm an idiot and don't know what I'm talking about apparently. The Old Ezra 7-year only comes as a barrel strength. There is no such thing as a non-Old Ezra 7-year that is not a barrel strength. So I'm dumb. Don't listen to me. I apologize. Continuing.
Yeah.
But this is the barrel strength.
Yeah.
So
basically, for anyone that doesn't know whiskey, the more like titles or the more like subdivisions it has, the harder it is to come to find. Like if it's just like Jack Daniels, that's everywhere. If it's Jack Daniels like barrel or whatever, then that's gonna be a little bit harder. If it's like Jack Daniels Private Select from this specific store on this specific warehouse shelf,
Jack
barrel
Daniels
strength.
Jack Daniels Sinatra blend.
Yeah, so something like that. It's like basically impossible to find. The
Yeah.
further down you get into the rabbit hole, the more specific you have to be to try to find it.
Yeah, but I bought this bottle like a year ago,
And we're just now cracking it.
and we're just now opening it. So we're gonna see how. Hold on, let me see if I can get the pop in the. Beautiful.
Nice.
I hope that picked up.
I think it did. I can't wait to dub over that with an explosion sound effect. It's gonna be awesome.
I was just saying that. I'm like, you can do some really dumb, just like super like.
Oh, there's so many
Just
stupid
like
ideas.
blow it up like super hard.
Dude, my brain, like as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, there's like 7,000 content ideas for that.
Alrighty, we're gonna get the schniff. It's very sweet.
Pretty sweet on that, yeah.
You can definitely tell it's hot.
Oh yeah. You can
For
smell the heat. I'm
for
getting a lot of
clarification, this is did we
117 proof?
did we mention what the difference between alcohol content and proof is?
No, I don't think anyone cares.
I mean, it's not like a super complicated process, but the proof is basically just indicating how hot the bourbon is, which is just like a fancy way of saying how much it burns because of how much alcohol is in it.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, and also proof is always double the alcohol content. So in this case, the alcohol content is 58.5, which is a lot.
Mhm.
And then the proof because of that is 117. So
I'm getting a lot of like some spicy notes and then some like corn notes. Like I'm getting pretty strong.
it's very mellow corn, like mellow corn notes. It's not like super pronounced.
not mellow corn the bottle.
Not the. Oh my god.
The greatest bottle of whiskey ever made.
It's a mellow corn is a corn whiskey and it is disgusting.
Hey man. Ooh, hold on. I'm gonna shitpost about mellow corn real quick. Mellow corn is the beverage of the gods. If you
What's wrong
really
with you?
like corn, if you really like corn,
You have to really like corn though.
it's like there's like every like whiskey like blog or like subreddit or anything I'll find, and they're always like top rated whiskeys of the year, and every year it's always mellow corn. It's just like a running gag at this point in the whiskey community.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Hold on.
It's like, despite it being 117 proof, it's not nearly as hot as I thought it was going to be. Or like the hotness is hidden behind just a lot of flavor.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of like complex flavors going on. I definitely enjoy that quite a bit.
That's really good. Yeah.
I don't know. I like that bottle a lot. It's probably like a $50, $60 bottle.
I would
it's
say
about that price point.
It's like if it were readily available, I'd say 50 is probably the price point. But given how like hard it is to find, 50 is a fantastic price for that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know if I would actively go out of my way to pursue this bottle, but like if it's there and if I'm feeling splurgy, I would absolutely have it again. 100%.
So yeah, go get yourself a bottle of Old Ezra 7-year. But good luck finding it, because yeah. Anyway, so
now
Oshinoko. Let's So to kind of give a little bit of background on just our experience with Oshinoko. Dean has been a big Oshinoko fan for basically since the last
year and change. So to explain this, I need to explain my relationship with Kaguya.
That's fair. Yeah.
So when I was getting back into anime in like 2019, there was this cool anime coming out called Kaguya-sama Love is War. And I watched.
I'm sure none of you have ever heard
absolutely
of that show
not.
before.
It was only like top 10.
It's very,
it's very pretty underground.
Yeah, it's very
indie.
underground. Yeah. You have to go into like the deep troves of the internet.
Yeah,
to find
basically.
It.
So I watched season 1 when that came out, and I was like, yeah, this is a really fun show. I like it quite a bit. And then as I was like, moving on from it a little bit, like the further removed I had from watching the show, it like kind of waned down a little bit. It was like, around an 8 and then settled into like a solid 7 for season 1, which was like pretty good. I was excited for a season 2, but I wasn't like getting my hopes up for it to be the next best thing ever. Watched season 2 when that came out, and that was like more of what I liked, and then like adding a lot of depth to the characters, and I just fell in love with that series. Season 3 came out in 2022, and it was so good that I went back, read the entire manga, then I rewatched the entire anime from season 1 to the end of season 3, and then reread the entire manga again. So I was like, damn.
I always laugh whenever you tell me that, because you're fucking insane for
dude,
that.
And you know what the craziest part? I rewatched the entire show in 2 days. I read the entire manga the first time in 2 days, and I reread the entire manga in
How did you do that?
3 days. How did I do it?
Spite and caffeine.
Willpower, caffeine, and depression. That'll get you through quite a bit.
Those are your three words of the day.
But so I went through all of that, and then I was talking to one of my buddies in a different Discord server, and he was like, "Yeah, did you see that Akasaka spoiled Kaguya in Oshi no Ko?" And I was like, "That's his other manga, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's really fucking good. It's like a crazy idol show, like manga." I'm like, "Oh, I should probably give that a read, huh?" While I'm waiting for Kaguya to finish. So then I read chapter 1 of Oshi no Ko, and then I read chapter 2, then I read chapter 10, then I read the entire thing in like a day.
Yep.
And I was just like, ha. And I was read up, it's like chapter had to have been like 98-ish. And then I was just getting everyone in my friend group like hyped on the Oshi no Ko anime that was coming out. And I've successfully convinced the entire state of South Dakota to become Oshi no Ko fans.
Yeah,
because holy shit, this is my favorite story of all time.
Yeah, so when the anime first got announced, Dean was like yelling about it, and I was just like, I have no fucking idea what this is. I don't know if I care, whatever.
Literally,
so,
my elevator pitch for the show was, it's the same author as Kaguya. Episode 1 is 80 minutes. It has to be, trust me. And that was my elevator pitch, and it worked.
And that was it. So eventually, like, about a week or so before the anime like first premiered, we got like a group of friends together to actually get together to watch the first episode like together, because I did it just because I was like, I literally did it on a whim. Like I was just like, I got nothing better going on. Why not? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, basically.
And then I watched the episode.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Oshi no Ko is, I guess in English it's called My Star, I think.
Fuck that.
It's Oshi no Ko. It is a show about the Japanese entertainment industry as a whole and how fucked up it is. I should mention, by the way, we're gonna be spoiling a lot.
We're spoiling literally everything.
We're spoiling everything in this entire series. So if you have not read it and you plan to read it,
we'll
turn away.
We'll talk about the cutoff of when we start talking about manga stuff, but we're spoiling everything.
Yes, and I mean we could probably also put like pinpoints as to like when we're talking about like non-spoilers. I mean, once we get to a certain point of the manga, it's all spoilers. Yeah,
so for sure.
But yeah, so episode 1 introduces you to because we'll start with where the anime is at, because that's I feel like
that's the correct way to do it.
So episode 1 has you introduced to this wonderful character named Ai Hoshino. She is an idol. Like the idol of Japan, basically.
More or less, like the up and coming, like everyone's got their eye on her. Like she is going to be the next superstar, basically.
Yep.
Turns out she's pregnant.
Yes.
So she goes to this backwater town to handle her pregnancy,
where
and
she meets
this doctor, Dr. Goro.
Goro, yes. Goro is just he's just a dude who's a doctor who also happens to be a big Ai Hoshino fan.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's because of his patient Serena, who has cancer or some kind of illness, some illness, who died, but she was like a really big idol fan, so he kind of like took that up in kind of like memoriam of her.
More or less. So it just by some circumstance, she had to go to a doctor to get that taken care of, and it just so happened to be Goro, and he flips his shit about it because obviously, they actually kind of get to know each other a little bit. He kind of talks to her about like the industry and about being a fan and all that kind of stuff. And
and he comes to like settle like, oh, I'm going to be your fan, while also, hey, I'm going to help you through to this pregnancy because
that's his job.
Yeah, basically.
He's a very, very cool guy. Very cool guy.
And then on the day where Ai is going to give birth, he gets fucking pushed off a cliff and dies.
Yeah. So you come to the day of the pregnancy. And when she's supposed to deliver the babies, and he goes outside, and there's a guy just kind of standing there being weird, and then he runs away. He chases the guy pushes him off a cliff, and then he dies.
Yeah.
End of story. All right.
Episode 1. And then we fast forward, like, I don't know, maybe a couple months, and Ai has her kids. She's in her apartment. She's hanging out, having a good time. And it turns out that she has 2 kids, a boy and a girl. The boy is the reincarnation of Dr. Goro.
Yep.
And the girl is the reincarnation of Goro's old patient, Serena. They don't tell each other who they are.
They don't know.
So, it's set up for, like, wacky hijinks, right? Haha. And then the rest of episode 1 is like going through like idols like up and coming into the Japanese entertainment industry.
Kind of, and also kind of giving you the impression that things are not what they seem because of the, terrible things that could happen in the Japanese entertainment industry and just how rough it can be.
Right. And that is accented by what happens at the end of the episode.
Yes. But before we get to that point, there was also like the they were filming the movie, and that's where you first get introduced into Kana Arima, who becomes very important later on. But that kind of went to show how Aqua seemed to have a natural talent for being an actor, more or less.
Yeah,
or just a creepy kid, whatever, whatever you want to.
Listos.
But that was also Ai's first like actual like acting gig because she was trying to be more popular so she can get more money, yada yada yada.
Yep.
So fast forward to one day in their apartment. Ai is about to leave.
Yep.
To go to. It was actually the day that they were supposed to perform in the Dome.
Yep. Which like, the Tokyo Dome is big. That's like performing in like an NFL stadium.
Yeah. So that's like it's described to be like the ultimate goal for idol groups is to perform in the Dome.
Yeah.
So Ai gets ready to leave. Someone's at the door. It's the guy who killed the doctor. You find that out very quickly.
Yep. And he fucking stabs her.
And he fucking stabs her and kills her.
Yep. And
when I tell you that I yelled,
yep.
I yelled.
Yep. And then as Ai Hoshino is dying, she has Aqua in her arms and is just like basically saying to her kids, "Hey, I wonder what kind of people you'll grow up to be. I'm so glad that I got to be your mother. I love you." Those words were genuine because like she had a whole thing about like not being able to be honest about saying I love you
because mainly because she's an idol, she has to keep up appearances, and she was never really truthful about anything
and that was like the first time she'd been like actually genuine, and it was really touching, really heartbreaking, and I almost cried.
I'm glad you almost cried.
Yeah,
I definitely cried.
You definitely cried. And yeah.
So you kind of fast forward through a couple events within the next couple months where they have the funeral and like just kind of how Ruby and Aqua are dealing with it. Which, by the way, we should mention their kids are named Ruby and Aqua.
Yep. Aquamarine.
Aqua is kind of sitting in the back of a car and he kind of has an epiphany where he's like, "Wait a minute. So somehow this guy knew where I lived. How could he have possibly gotten that address? Well, this person doesn't make sense. This person doesn't make sense. That only leaves one person."
It would have to be my dad.
My dad. So that Aqua's like, I'm gonna kill my dad.
Basically, I'm gonna like rise up through the Japanese entertainment industry so that I can find my dad and kill him for killing my mom.
And thus we begin the story of Oshi no Ko.
Right. You want to talk about an episode 1 that like broke everything.
Yeah.
Like the entire like online anime community was fucking exploded.
This episode legitimately broke the internet for a little while. Because it was just kind of incredible that. I mean, obviously the manga readers knew it was happening.
Oh yeah.
So like everyone was just kind of anticipating it, but like everybody else who had never seen this before was like,
there was
they really did that.
There was one comment in particular on the r/anime thread for episode 1. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I think it's still the most upvoted comment on that post. Yeah. So the top comment from the r/anime thread was, "Oh, a new series from the Kaguya-sama author about idols. I'm sure it'll be fun of wacky hijinks." Oh.
Yeah.
And then my other favorite one, "Congratulations to all the anime onlys that made it through today without getting spoiled, and welcome to the pain that is Oshi no Ko."
Me.
Yeah.
Literally me.
The way that like I got all of my friends to watch it was just saying like episode 1 has to be 80 minutes long because they have to set up a lot of stuff. Go in as blind as possible. It will be worth it.
Because it's crazy when you look at like the actual manga because that was what, chapter 10?
Yeah, that was the first volume.
Yeah. Like the whole first volume is just this.
And it has to be.
Yeah.
Because what's even crazier is in like the manga, they have like a little like 1 or 2 page like snapshot before each like chapter begins, where it's like a character doing an interview before the movie arc.
Yeah.
That's like the most recent manga arc. And it's just like given a quick like, ayo, here I'm this character, this is where I appear, and then they get into like the chapter where they appear. They couldn't have adapted that.
No.
So like this is like literally the best possible adaptation of Volume 1.
Yeah.
And it caught so many people off guard. Like I think I talked to Zach about it, and he was like, I got nothing better to do, and we're probably gonna play Smashy Bros after, so it'll be fine. And then it went from like, I have no interest in this to I have slight interest in this to, well, I'm
caught up now.
yeah, because Zach, I'm pretty sure Zach is like either up to date or only like a couple chapters behind.
Yeah.
But like Zach read the manga pretty quick after a couple episodes.
Yeah, it's it just kind of pulls you in a little bit because
A little bit.
Well, because I mean, the character that they've been building up as like this really cool, interesting person is dead.
Yeah.
So
and that's the best part about the marketing for the show too, because
Yeah.
the show is just marketed as like fun little idol rom-com.
Look at Ai Hoshino.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
Look at Ai. This might be a romance between her and her doctor now. Haha, I wonder how the twins play into this. This is going to be a fun little time. And then you saw that the OP was done by Yoasobi.
And
anyone that knows anything should know, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, it was funny too because when the doctor died or like got killed basically, and then got reincarnated. Because when he got killed, I was like, oh, this is the kind of show we're doing. But then he got reincarnated, and we had all that like nonsense that happened in between. I was like, okay, maybe it's not what I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
No, it sure was.
Yep. No, it does a good job of like building up your expectations, what you think it is, then subverting those expectations to something that is significantly more interesting, to going back to catch you off guard, to then re-subverting to what it's going to actually be. And it's just so...
And it's funny how consistently they're able to do that.
And like in any other series, like if episode 1 didn't like immediately establish like how well this series is going to balance its tone between lighthearted comedy and just like brutal, but like some really brutal, dark, tough to handle subject matter, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But they established really early on what kind of show they're going to be and how well they're going to handle everything. So you have absolute faith that even when they do get into some of the touchier subject matter, they're going to mostly do a good job of it.
Mostly.
Yeah. There's a couple things that I think could be like, up for debate at least.
Yeah.
But
we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. But no, I think episode 1 is phenomenal.
Yeah, episode 1, I mean, even after finishing the season, I mean, like, there were definitely a lot of really cool moments and really good moments within the show, but literally nothing was able to compare to episode 1.
Yeah. Episode 1 was literally like a fucking 11 out of 10 bar. So even if the rest of the series was like a 9 or a 10, the bar is fucking Everest.
The bar is above the clouds and gone from the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So, I guess kind of moving into like the actual like story side of things, you do a time skip, you fast forward to Aqua and Ruby being high school students now. They both went to the like prestigious like fine arts college, more or less, because Ruby wanted to be.
Yeah, Ruby wants to be an idol. Go figure.
Yeah, shocker, I know. And Aqua kind of just went there because, and why not?
Yeah, basically. The reason that he gives is like, I want to like make sure that my sister is okay, and then like no one tries to like do anything to my sister.
Dude is a bit protective of his sister, which
I mean,
kind of understand.
His mom died in his
mom
arms.
literally
That's
died.
Fair.
It's 100% valid. But so as that kind of continues, Aqua actually, kind of goes back into because originally he was actually working with the director for that movie that I mentioned before in episode 1, just kind of doing editing stuff.
Yep.
But he actually ends up finding out that he wants to continue acting for a different reason.
Yeah.
If you want to continue on that.
Yeah. So after they're like doing their tour of the high school and stuff, he meets his old childhood friend, Kana Arima, who is my goat, and I fucking love her. And she essentially like convinces him, "Ayo, we need like a person in this part of like this show that I'm in." The show, by the way, was Sweet Tomorrow, I think.
Sweet Today,
which is like a also an Easter egg to Kaguya-sama, which I fell in love with. But yeah, it's like this really famous shoujo manga, and there's like adaptation that's coming out that a lot of people are initially excited for, but it's bombing because the acting is dog shit.
It is terrible
for everyone that isn't Kana. And so she's like, man, I know that this isn't good, but I want to like at least try to salvage at least a little bit. And like, I don't know, I trust that together we would be able to make something special. So please, I can only ask you to do this.
Yep.
And he just says, okay, fine, I'll do it. And he also like has ulterior motives, like I can try to find my dad doing this.
Yeah,
but
the biggest reason why you come to find out that he's doing it is because he's trying to get higher up in the ranks so he can figure out who his father is and get more information. Because he actually you notice in some particular scenes that he's actually like taking like cigarette butts and things that people throw away for DNA testing.
Right.
Which is really fucking weird.
Yeah. And then as they're like doing the scene, there's like one specific scene, I think at the end of episode 3, where they're like, okay, well this is like the big scene where like the stalker confronts the heroine and her boyfriend, and it's just like kind of it's gonna be the big emotional scene that like makes the entire series worth watching. And Aqua's like, all right, going through the motions during the practice, and Kana's like, well, shit, man, I guess we can't really do a whole lot. And then they get to the actual take, and he's like, you see his Hoshengan activates, and he like acts the fuck out of that scene. And then like by his merit of doing that, everyone else like starts acting better too.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy shit. Like,
yeah, and this plays into Aqua not necessarily like being able to develop his own acting skills, but he can copy a motherfucker.
Yeah, basically.
Which is really, really unfortunate when you realize that he's
copying the stalker that killed his mom. Yeah, which is just fucking like creepy.
All kinds of painful and sucks,
but it's so fucking.
It's
cool.
done so fucking.
It's so
well.
fucking cool. Yeah, no. And then upon Kana seeing how like hard he's going, she like actually has like this amazing crying scene where she's like the big emotional moment happens, and she like is crying like borderline genuine tears.
Yep.
And then she is like, I've fallen in love with him again. That's
God damn it.
Basically. And that's when I was like, yeah, Kana's the fucking best.
Kana's the GOAT.
I love her. I love her so much.
So yeah, we kind of get past that part, and then we kind of cut over to a little bit of what Ruby is trying to do.
Yeah.
She's trying to, obviously become an idol, but she doesn't really know how to go about doing that. So she actually tries to use Strawberry Productions, which is the people who initially had Bikomachi, which was Ai's group, try and create a new idol group. Obviously, they were not super on board with that initially.
Yep.
But eventually, because the issue was obviously trying to find people to do it.
Yeah.
Ruby ends up enlisting the help of Kana.
Yep.
Much to her dismay.
Yep.
And the only reason she did it is because Aqua told her to.
Basically, yeah. Aqua said, hey, you're really cute and you can do this. Please, please, please. She said, no. Next shot, she's signing the contract.
And then it's kind of left off at that for the time being, because going into the next part, or I guess the next arc technically would be the dating show arc.
Yep.
Which Jesus Christ,
I think
just fucking.
I think this is an arc that caught a lot of like actual IRL flack.
Yeah.
And it's like part of why is because there's one specific character that's introduced. Her name is Akane, who's like one of the other like main heroines.
I love Akane.
Akane is very like resolute in like wanting to play her part, wanting to play her role. But being on like this reality dating show, like if you're not like doing your most to like stand out, then like you're not going to get attention. You're not going to get other jobs. And there's this scene where her manager and the other people in charge of her specific agency are like having this conversation of like, if she doesn't stand out more, if she doesn't start getting more attention on the show, she's going to lose jobs. We're going to lose money. You are going to lose your job. Yep. And so she figures out that the best role that she can play in order to stand out is kind of
the villain,
more or less like a villain antagonistic role.
Yeah.
And she ends up slapping one of the other girls, and like she accidentally had her ring on, so it ended up like actually cutting her face, and then started catching like a lot of like some strays from the people there, but like all's fair. She was like, hey, this is fine. I get what you're doing. You're playing your role for like your company. I get it. Or chill. Social media doesn't see that part.
Yeah, however.
And this is where things get a bit touchy for some people. I can't say that I personally have any form of like personal relation to this. Like I've never experienced anything like this. I've never experienced anything this extreme. But like, I think the idea of people on social media telling you to, in a word, kill yourself, like when it's in this extreme, everyone can empathize with that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like anybody who has been on the internet long enough and has had some kind of following of any kind or has tried to put themselves out has probably had to deal with some manner of hate. Maybe not to that extreme all the time, but like definitely close.
Yeah. And that's kind of like for Akane, like she's just completely shuts herself off from everything because she just can't deal with it anymore.
Yep.
And then we get to the bridge scene, which gorgeously directed, incredibly well directed scene.
That got me fucked up, bro.
And like there's this one specific shot where it shows her walking and there's like this blissful, like peaceful, like warm backdrop, and then it hard cuts to her standing in the rain, standing on top of the bridge. She like leaps off a little bit and then gets pulled back up literally by Aqua. And it's one of those scenes where it's like I saw there was like a couple comments online that's like, man, I wish they cut off on her jumping. It's like, no, absolutely not. No, 100% no. You have to have her being saved be the shot, because like what message could that leave for what the show is about?
Yeah,
like it's
also one of the biggest reasons why that caught flack was because apparently that was actually based on like a true thing that happened to somebody. There was a Japanese actress who ended up doing that because of a bunch of hate that she had gotten online. She did not have as much of a happy ending, unfortunately. She actually ended up,
she unfortunately did take her own life, and it was like a genuinely like international tragedy. And I believe her name is Hana Kimura. I'll throw it on screen in case I'm incorrect about that.
But yeah, it was actually based on that specific period of time, and the mother of the woman who took her own life was very, very, very mad that they put that in the show, which
completely
I love Oshi no Ko, but 100% valid.
If any one person is allowed to have criticism of that scene, it is the mother.
Yes,
like 100%. Like I understand maybe I don't know what the correct answer is. Maybe they should have gotten her approval before they handled the scene in that matter.
Yeah.
I don't know what the correct answer is. Yeah. But for what it's worth, as its own artistic merit, I think that it was a beautifully handled scene.
I agree.
That contributed a lot to how the story had to progress.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think the way what they did with it was definitely very well done, and I'm glad that they at least for sure did not kill her off, because that would have been upsetting.
If they went and like had Akane actually kill herself, like no, that would have been uncalled for in any capacity.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it was a great way of showing just how serious some of that kind of flack can be.
Yeah.
But thankfully she was rescued by Aqua. And that also kickstarted their relationship.
Yep. As like the next episode immediately following that, like all of the cast members like start putting together like all these videos and stuff of like, hey, we're all friends. We like each other. Stop bullying Akane.
Stop yelling at her.
Stop telling her to kill herself online because she doesn't deserve that. She's just doing her job.
Yeah. Which Aqua actually, in order to be able to do that, Aqua actually had to get some footage, like behind the scenes footage that was cut from the original thing, which
and in order to get that, he had to talk to the show's director, and he basically just said, the director's like, hey, we're just trying to get ratings, man. And he said, okay, counterpoint, she's a fucking kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're gonna make her deal with that? And he's just like, again, really cool thing about me in fiction, I love when people can convey things through eyes. Oshi no Ko does it very well. Any time before where like Aqua is motivated by revenge or anything like that, there's like the star in his eye grows black, and it's the Dark Hoshengan is what we call it. In that scene, it was white the entire time.
Yep.
He wasn't motivated by revenge or any negative emotion. He was motivated purely by, this is my friend. I want her taken care of. Stop fucking killing my friend.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it was so well done.
It was super, super cool. But yeah, they got the video together, got a bunch of good views. The internet basically flipped completely 180 on how they felt about Akane, and everything was all hunky-dory.
Yeah. And then as repayment for that, Akane kind of fell in love with Aqua and decided, kind of a little bit, and
kind of a lot,
and decided that, hey, my role in this is now going to be the one that goes after Aqua. So how am I going to do that? Well, he mentioned he really likes Ai Hoshino. So I'm going to do a full, in-depth psychological analysis of Ai Hoshino and uncover things about her past that no one else has even bothered to piece together.
Which comes in handy a little bit later.
In order to accurately depict every single facet of her mannerisms, her emotions, her way of life.
Yeah, the scene where she like smiles for the first time as Ai Hoshino and then her eyes light up, I lost it.
I was gonna say I wasn't there. I know how you reacted.
Especially since like I already at this point was like Akane might end up becoming one of my favorite characters outside of Aqua.
And then she did that.
And then she did that, and I was like, okay, all right, I see what we're throwing down.
Yeah,
okay.
Akane is fucking awesome, by the way.
She's fucking awesome. But yeah, then we go to the next episode. Aqua's like,
mommy, sorry.
Well, because you like right before she did that, Aqua was having like this inner monologue about like, there's no possible way you could imitate her because she's a one perfect human being.
And then she nails it for one.
And then she nailed it completely, and he's like, and my entire world is broken.
Yeah. Fast forward a little bit down the episode, and he's like, okay, so it's not Akane that I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to her, like the fact that she is so accurately playing the role of I. And then he's just like making small talk. Like, so, hold on. So how did you like figure out like how to nail all of her mannerisms? And she basically like says, "Hey yo, yeah." I just kind of like looked at some of her like ways that she walked and stuff, and he's like, "Well, she probably had kids that she didn't tell anyone about." And he's just like,
awkward.
I can't lose you. Not in a romantic way. I need you.
I need you because I need you for information.
Yes, I need you as a tool.
Which in retrospect is really fucked up.
Oh, in retrospect, that was fucked up the moment when you said it.
Yeah, you're right.
But, however, acknowledging that, that's the most badass scene in the show.
Yeah, they get to the end of the dating show. Akane and Aqua are the ones who end up kissing each other.
Yeah.
Kana's having a great time with that.
Oh, Kana's having just a big old hunky-dory hootin' and hollering party at her place.
But yeah, the entire time that they're doing that kissing scene, Aqua's just like, I'm going to use her because I need her information. And it's just like, oh my god.
And then cut to the after party, and they're like, okay. Akane asks him, so like, are we a real thing or are we a work thing? And he's like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I kind of just want this to be a work relationship. Yep. I appreciate your talent as an actress, but like, I can't.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I mean, that's fair. So thanks for appreciating me as an actress. I'm cool to just play the part.
Yeah. Well,
because
for now.
Yeah.
Now I should also mention that the whole reason that Aqua took this this job for this dating show is because the director said that if he did it, he would give her more insight as to Ai Hoshino and her past and the people that she knows. So now that he actually did, he was supposed to uphold his end of the bargain.
And he did.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway.
What was exactly the information he told him?
Yeah. So I went to the La 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 Theater Co. and had she started acting more like a grown, mature woman, and it's probably because she fell in love around there, and so that's where he consumed. Okay, so my dad has some connection to the La 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 Theater Company, which is also where Akane works for. So
and she's like the star of the theater program,
more or less, yeah. So it's like a really good tie-in there.
Yep.
And that takes us into the next arc. Hey, what's Ruby been doing this whole time? Want to find out?
So in the dating show, there's a bunch of different characters. You get like a musician, you get a model. I think was another one.
The other girl is the black-haired girl is a model. There's like a musician dude that doesn't really do anything.
But more importantly,
you get Mem.
You get Memcho.
I fucking love Mem.
She is a streamer.
Yeah.
Who is totally not 30 years old.
Yeah, because she was 25.
25.
Yeah, she Mem has like a backstory and is like really short, simple, whatever. No one cares. She's just really cute and adorable. And Aqua's like, "Ayo, you want to be an idol, right? Want to join my sister's idol group?" And she's like, "But actually,
yeah." At first, she was like, "You're that's really funny," and then turned around and saw he was definitely not joking.
She's like, I am being the deadest of ass right now. Do you want to be an idol?
Or not.
I know people. And then she's like, all right, well, cool.
So yeah, we now have our idol group of Kana, Ruby, and Mem.
Yep.
Now before they actually got Mem on board, Ruby and Kana were trying to figure out how to expand their reach to people and get more popularity.
Yep. Oh, Pieon?
Enter the YouTuber.
My goat. Pieon, big muscular duck man.
He is a muscle bro.
Yeah.
Who wears a duck head.
Yeah, and he
And
brings
talks
in
in
like
a really
100 billion yen a year or something.
and talks in
like
a
that.
really high-pitched voice.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
great. I
so-
love Piaon.
Yeah, they used him as like a promotional video,
Basically,
and they got introduced that way, and it actually kind of helped their get their name out there a little bit.
Mhm.
But that was also when Kana was like, "Hey, what the fuck do you want to name us? Because I don't have any ideas." And Ruby's like,
we're B Kamachi.
"B Komachi," which, if you remember,
His eyes group.
is Eyes Group, which is totally not depressing.
A little bit. But yeah, so then they get Mem to join B Kamachi 2, and continuing to use Memcho's incredible YouTube popularity, they start growing their brand a little bit more.
Yep.
But like they don't have any gigs lined up, so how is that gonna get resolved? They end up getting booked to the Japanese Idol Festival, or the JIF, or the JIF Peanut Butter, and then
I hated that one.
and they end up getting just, Day, we'll do you a favor, get in here. And the entire time, Kana's just like, this is kind of the Kana arc.
In a way, kind of.
Like,
Because this was like her like. I don't want to say coming of age, but like
this was a lot of like, Kana had characterization before, just
Yeah.
like through interactions with other characters and like a little bit of like stuff here or there. This is when we got the full blown like Kana introspection and
Yeah.
how much like Ruby has come to mean to her and how much Aqua comes to mean to her.
yeah.
Because like there's a couple scenes early on where she's interacting with Aqua and she's like kind of being cold and brash even though she doesn't want to be. That's just like what
Yeah.
her natural like defense mechanism is. And then
Especially when he's dating someone else,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
yeah, and then she's interacting with Piaon. This is like helping them get into like super tip top shape for their upcoming performance.
She's having a great time talking to him on the balcony.
Yep.
You know, they're having a really nice talk. He knows everything about her because he's a fan.
Yep.
And then you find out that was Aqua the whole time.
Yeah, she go downstairs to get a cup of water, and it's like, oh, Piaon was Aqua the whole time. I don't know how to react to anything anymore. This fucking blows. So then, fast forward to the actual day of the performance, and she's like, okay, like the nerves are like actually piling on because
Yep.
she doesn't want to fail.
The
Like,
group.
She doesn't want the group to fail. If she herself fails, it's fine because she's failed enough already.
Yeah. And this is because she is actually appointed to be the lead, like the
Yeah.
the lead person, because they realize that she's actually a really, really good singer.
Which she is.
She is.
The song's really good.
It's really good.
But yeah, she is like appointed as the center, and if she fails, it's fine. If she fails with the group, like she couldn't live with that herself.
Yeah.
So she has this whole scene where she kind of like breaks down in front of Ruby, and Ruby just says, "Dog, it's fine.
Yeah, like
Like,
we're
if-
gonna be okay.
Yeah,
Like,
If we fail, then we're just gonna laugh it off, and we'll like turn it into
go
a
on
bit."
go on to the next one.
And then that's kind of exactly what Kana needed to hear, but she's still like, still like in her own head. Like you can't just snap out of that easily. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
She's like just so like down on herself that like she's in the performance, but she's kind of like going through the motions a little bit.
And you come to realize that a lot of the reason for that is just because she wants someone to like support her more
Yeah.
or less, because
Yeah.
she's gone the last like few years
Mhm.
trying to get jobs and get support, but just no one
Yeah.
cared.
Yeah, like her own mother like essentially left her on her own, and so that she could like, yeah, so she could go take care of like her failing health parents, but like
Yeah.
abandoning your daughter is
Yeah.
still like gonna leave a
Still
sour
not
taste.
okay.
Yeah. And so like Kana has this scene where it's like, just please anyone scream that you'll support me, and then Aqua with the
Aqua
glow
holds up
stick.
the white glow stick and starts ripping that shit.
Yes, sir.
That is, I'll put the gif in.
That's
'cause-
one of the greatest gifts
It's
I've
so
ever fucking seen.
goddamn funny.
It's like he's just so deadpan the entire time, and like all three of the girls have a different reaction to him. Mem is just shocked as all hell, like, "What the fuck is this?" Ruby is like, "Yeah,
Yep.
that's my brother."
That's my brother.
And Kana's just laughing.
Yep.
She's trying her best to not just burst out laughing on stage.
And after that performance, they clearly had a very good.
Wait, you missed the "I'm gonna be your star. I'll be your Oshi no Ko"
Oh yeah.
title drop.
Title drop.
Which-
Yeah, Kana did the title drop, and Aqua just kind of sits there like, "Oh my god."
Have you seen the manga panel for that?
Yes, I have. It's very good.
Manga did it better. Not gonna lie.
You think so?
I think so.
I think they both did pretty well.
I think the anime didn't do it bad, but the way that scene flowed in my head, it was just like this huge, like large build up to this one big like shot,
Yeah.
and it's like the anime just kind of like rolled with it a little bit more, which like
suppose.
not bad,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, I would have liked it to be bigger personally.
Yeah. It was pretty cool that they made her pose exactly like I did too. No, what I loved also when in the anime specifically when Ruby was dancing and they had like the transition from Ai to Ruby, that was so fucking cool.
Oh yeah,
that was so cool.
Good. That was so good, and I'm pretty sure like that dude also like appeared in like the chef dude with the bandana. Like he appeared like in episode 1 in like watching. Yeah, he appeared watching one of like Ai's performances.
Oh, that's
in like
hilarious.
the audience, and then he appeared there. And I'm pretty sure he was also like a chef, like a ramen chef in Kaguya.
Of course he was.
Because like yeah, this is the Kaguya no Ko cinematic universe, and he's my favorite recurring character.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's just so fucking cool how they like tied in everything together into that scene.
Yeah,
and like that's why to me like this was the Kana arc, because that is like I'd say probably like one of the most iconic shots in the entire manga is that panel.
Yeah,
and that is very much the Kana panel.
And then I do also love the way they ended it. So they all get in like the van to leave, and Kana's like awkwardly trying to ask Aqua how the performance was, and he goes, "It was good."
He was like, "It was good, but like you're gonna go have better performances, so I can't give this too high of a rating yet."
And then someone was like, or I think it was Mem was like, "Do they still hate each other?" And it's like, "Watch this." Asks him how Akane is doing. Oh, this is purely a work relationship.
and Kana has this moment where she's just like, it's aha, so you're single and ready to mingle.
Yeah, because who would date you?
Me, I would.
Me, please.
And then Mem is like putting the pieces together and is like, oh, that's what this is.
That's what's going on.
And I fucking love her for it. Yeah. And that's where the anime ends, more or less. We introduce the next arc, which is the Tokyo Blade stage show. We'll get into that in a little bit. For the anime onlys, right?
Right.
When you were anime only watching this, up till this point, what was your impression of this show?
Where do I even start? This show took an idea that, idol shows are all over the fucking place. You see idol shows all the time. It's the same kind of thing. It's very, happy, sing songs, yada yada yada. The fact that they really like took it into themselves to like take a dive into the darker side of that industry, and really just the entirety of the industry itself, was such a great idea that it was almost like probably easy for them to build characters around it too, because the characters just fit into this plot so easily.
Yeah.
I mean, watching just the kind of thing, because you can tell a lot of times like how painful a lot of this shit is for these characters just because of how they act to their surroundings and how they interact with people, and it feels very real. Yeah. Very based in reality. Like this is something that would happen in reality, despite the whole reincarnation nonsense.
Like if you took out the supernatural elements, this is a series that is very plausibly could happen in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously you never want someone to die, but like the idea of someone dying or like an idol dying because their fan found out that they were dating or married to somebody, that's not entirely impossible.
It's not impossible, and unfortunately it has happened in the past, and that's like a super huge, like, I can't say it in any other words. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
And I love that this manga and this show exists in a way that can bring attention to that.
Yeah.
If this show sucked and it tried to have that message, no one would care.
No one would care.
But because the show is it handles it so well, and then it's also a tight, cohesive narrative on top of that, with fun, charming, memorable characters.
Yeah.
Like, I think that because of that, like, hopefully this gets more attention from whatever legal branch it needs to protect these idols more.
Yeah, because they fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
Because like this is supposed to be like the passion project type of thing. So like if they're doing this out of passion, but like they can't sustain it and they have to like kill themselves basically to do it, what's the point?
Right. Exactly.
Man, no, I zero shame gave this show a 10 out of 10 because it's probably my new favorite show right now. So.
I gave it a 10 out of 10 from episode 1 on. I stand by that rating.
Yeah.
It's my favorite manga of all time. It's my favorite anime of all time. I don't care. I wish the ending of season 1 was a little bit more what I had wanted, but that's me as the manga reader with what my preconception was. That happens with any time anyone's a manga reader.
Exactly.
So like,
yeah, shamelessly I gave it a 10 out of 10, and I'm fairly convinced that this will continue to be probably my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
Which I am very glad that I, thought that, because I decided I don't read very often. Let me just make this very clear. I don't read ever.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have ever read to like a long extent of time was Higurashi. That is a visual novel. It doesn't count.
Right.
So,
I think a good way of saying it for you is like it has to be really, really good for you to have the attention span to give
yes,
to read.
Yes. I have to. I mean, that's how I treat anime in general. Honestly, like if it's not grabbing my attention like really hard, it's very hard for me to finish shows. Like the only reason that I finished 11 Eyes because you told me to was because I wanted to do it for the video, and then we didn't fucking do it anyway, and now I'm angry.
You're welcome.
Stupid ass fucking show.
What do you mean?
That show took years off my life.
Did it take 11 years?
Too fucking many. But yeah, so I don't read very often, so you can imagine my surprise when I actually decided to sit down and read the rest of the manga for Oshi no Ko, and I already finished it within a day and a half.
Yeah. So spoilers from here on out for the manga.
Yeah, this is gonna get very spoiler heavy, so just be cautious of that.
Yeah.
If you are interested in reading the manga and you haven't yet,
yep,
stop watching, stop listening.
Yeah.
We have other videos. You can go look at those.
Yep.
If you have caught up to the manga, you already know where this is going. Let's suffer.
Tokyo Blade arc.
Let's suffer together.
So the Tokyo Blade arc is the next arc after the peanut butter, where we go into like the stage show of like basically Demon Slayer. Like imagine it's kind of like similar idea.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Stage adaptation of Demon Slayer featuring everybody except for Ruby and Mem.
Pretty much.
Literally
yeah.
everybody.
Literally everybody. So and when we say everybody, it's like you also get like the main guy from Sweet Today.
Mm-hmm.
You get Akane and Kana on the same stage.
Yep.
You get Aqua.
You get a whole bunch of other characters that like appeared in brief snapshot.
Yep.
You get like the fucking like author of Sweet Today appears alongside her like protege, who is the original author for Tokyo Blade.
What a fucking creature she is.
I fucking love her. She's great.
That whole like mini like arc of her like kind of losing her mind about this whole thing was really, really interesting that they went that in depth with it, but it works so well too.
I think that a lot of that was from personal experience from both Aka and Mengo.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Because like imagine that two mangakas are able to tell a convincing and realistic story about how two mangakas would act when their show is getting adapted.
Wow.
Because, like, especially Akasaka has a lot of relationship of seeing his show done terribly with the live-action Kaguya-sama and his show done really well. Also
normal,
with Kaguya.
Normal Kaguya-sama.
Yeah. So, like, of course, like, he has insight for how, like, that plays out on both sides. And
Yeah.
I imagine Mengo has, like, some other... I'm not as familiar with Mengo's works, so I don't know what else she's done that's been adapted, but I imagine that she has some level of empathy to that as well.
So you kind of get an insight as to like how hard it is sometimes for a mangaka. Mangaka. Those are people who basically create mangas.
Yeah.
And how hard it is sometimes for them to like sign off on an adaptation because it can either go really well, or really bad.
Yeah.
And if it goes really bad. Sorry.
Yeah, like that's your original work that just like lost a large part of its potential like readers.
Yep.
So then that in turn affects your income, so it's like a big risk. And she like initially like fucking hates the screenplay and wants to like rewrite the entire thing herself in addition to her personal workload, which is fucking absurd.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just like eventually learns, okay, gotta chill. We're gonna just like sit down, talk to the screenwriter or the screenplay author, and we're just gonna figure this out and like come to a mutual understanding. And then they do, and then they cut back a lot of her bullshit, and then it's like, all right, we're just gonna let the fucking actors go ham.
Yeah, pretty much what they decided on was they were gonna write it in a way so that they both agreed on it, and the actors had to do most of the heavy lifting.
Yeah,
which
they do,
which they fucking did.
Do. So quick aside on this, I was talking to remember Dolph.
Yeah, of course I do.
I was talking to him just like a little bit in Discord, like, man, Oshi no Ko is really fucking good. Everyone should read it. And he's like, is there a shonen power up? I'm like, kind of in a way. There isn't not. And he was like, huh, I might read it then, because like in like a joking way. I don't think he actually will, but like,
yeah, sure.
It was one of those like, there's kind of multiple shonen power ups in the Tokyo Blade arc,
sort of,
where it's like Aqua. So Aqua doesn't really act on his own. He like more or less just like impersonates other people that he's seen.
Kind of like I mentioned before. He's not very good actor, but he's very good at copying people.
Yeah, and
so
that comes into play with this specific role where he's like, he has to more or less copy himself for like the anguish and the darkness that he felt when he was there when I died.
Yeah, because he's one of the like the main characters in Tokyo Blade, and he has a scene where the main woman that he's protecting, who is played by Akane, gets killed.
Yeah,
I think. Kind of.
It's something like that.
Wounded. Gets wounded.
Yeah, it's something severe.
And he has to have this really emotional moment where he's like, curled over her body and all that kind of stuff. And he tries to do it initially, and the director's like, no. You don't understand. You need to make this really emotional. So he tries, unfortunately. And it brought back... okay, I just want to say, going into reading this, I was like, there's like 4 or 5 themes that I kind of hope they play with, but like 2 in particular that I like really hope they play with. Mm-hmm. One of which was Aqua's trauma. Oh fucking man.
Oh yeah.
Because you see Aqua try to like use like his past experience to like really purvey like an emotional response, and he ends up causing himself to have a fucking panic attack because of it.
Yeah.
God, that
like,
hurt, man.
And like the consequence of that was like, yeah, he went to therapy, but it was kind of like going through the motions and like just ended up saying, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm whatever.
Mainly because he didn't want his family to worry.
Yeah, which like that's
very on par for what Aqua would do.
That's very on par for Aqua, and that's very like
real.
Yeah, a lot of people
real.
can empathize with that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's I mean going to therapy and like sticking to it for a long time is very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
So
true.
But yeah, he had a whole-on breakdown, kind of lost it and kind of went back to square one on everything, and now he's losing his mind even more than he was before, and
yeah.
It
ends up kind of getting through it a little bit more, mostly due to Kana and Akane both being there for him. Akane in a very unexpected way. One of the other most iconic panels in the manga.
Yep.
Where they're basically like out on a balcony, because all the best stuff happens on a balcony.
Yep.
And they're having this conversation of like, I think I know like what you want to do, Ruby or Aqua. You want to kill. There's someone that you have malicious intent for, right? I'll help you kill him.
Well, so what had happened was Aqua was like, if I told you that my whole purpose for doing this would be to kill somebody, what would you do? Like what would your response be? And she goes, I'd help you kill him.
Yeah.
He's like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Akane's fucking awesome, by the way.
She's so awesome.
Dude, I wish that I want a girlfriend that could just like look me dead in the eye and say, yeah, I'd help you kill a man.
I'd help you kill a man.
Yeah. That's get you a girl that'll
a girl that'll help you kill somebody.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
That is great life advice. This is 10 out of 10 life advice.
So yeah, that happens. Also, alongside Aqua's own issues, you start to see the continuation of Kana and Akane absolutely fucking hating each other.
Yep.
So you kind of get a little bit of insight on that at the end of season 1, actually, because Kana and Akane meet in the actual like series for the first time, because this is the first time we've seen them together.
Yeah.
And they very clearly do not like each other.
Yeah. And the stage play arc goes into a little bit of a why. And the why is because Akane used to idolize Kana growing up, because they're roughly the same age. Kana is this very successful child actress. I want to be like this other successful child actress. She ends up getting an audition for a specific part, and Kana basically drops like, "Ayo, this part's already decided. It's for me. Everything is a formality.
Yeah,
that's how showbiz is. Fuck off." And kind of seeing the illusion of like your favorite like person getting like being a dick to you, kind of like shattered her a little bit.
Which again goes back to the whole idea of Oshi no Ko being so like based in reality, because like everyone knows the whole you should not,
don't meet your heroes.
Don't meet your heroes. Like that. I mean, that's it. That's such a real thing too. Like there's so many times where you meet people that you look up to and you just find out they're total douchebags.
Yeah,
it's very normal.
And that's like also. It also makes so much sense for Kana specifically, because it's very easy to piece together why she was like that.
Yeah.
Like her own self-worth is derived from how much work she can get. Like her connection with her parents is entirely based on my skill as a child actress.
Mm-hmm.
So of course she doesn't want to give that up.
Yeah.
But like you can't convey that as a kid.
Yeah. Like, how the hell do you convey that as a child?
Yeah. And then how do you convey that to another child?
Yeah.
Like kids are smart, don't get me wrong, but that's a huge level of emotional like weight and depth. That's just so hard to convey for adults, let alone people that haven't matured yet.
So yeah, basically ever since then, they have kind of just hated each other and butted heads, and that's just kind of where that was left off. So now they had to, do a theatrical performance together.
Yep. Which actually went really well.
It went very well, oddly enough. So I guess one of the other characters that got what is his name? The other really good actor that got introduced.
The other really good actor?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
The guy with the glasses.
I could not remember.
That was the one that Aqua did the DNA sample on later.
Oh, his like half brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucker. I don't remember.
We'll get to that half brother part in a second.
Yeah, I don't fucking remember. I'm gonna be honest.
There's another actor in there who is just he's a well-established actor apparently, and he's just kind of there.
He's kind of important. Kind of not.
He becomes important later.
Yeah.
So kind of fast forward to the actual theatrical performance itself. Things are going pretty well.
Yep.
You actually get a little cool. One of my personal favorite parts, even outside of like the main character stuff, was actually seeing the guy from
Melt.
Yeah, Melt. Yeah. Because the lady who wrote Sweet Today, the guy that he was the main character for and did terribly at.
Yeah, she fucking hates him. Because like she like it's literally like look what they've done to my boy. They massacred my boy. Like he fucked up like one of her favorite characters from her work. Of course she doesn't like him. But then there's like this scene where he's in Tokyo Blade now, and he's like trying his best to actually become a good actor since he worked with Aqua and got to see what being a good actor is like. And he's just like, you can't just become a good actor overnight.
Yeah.
But you can become really good at one thing overnight.
And he sure fucking did.
So,
dude, I can't wait to see that in the anime, bro.
Dude, he min-maxed IRL, like everything to become really good at being angry with a sword.
Yeah.
And he did.
He fucking tossed that shit in the air.
And it was so fucking cool. Like everyone watched it, was like, okay, hold on.
Wait, this guy's pretty cool actually.
Yeah, respect. Because like up till then he'd been just like a cocky asshole, and now he's like, oh, I'm in my place now. This fucking blows.
This sucks. Dude, I can't wait to see that.
That's just gonna be so fucking hype.
That's gonna look.
That's
so
just gonna be
cool.
so fucking.
I can't
cool.
wait for Tokyo Blade to get adapted, dude.
Yeah, Tokyo Blade. It ends up resolving in a way that I think makes a lot of sense. Where, like Akane and Kana more or less just have like a truce where they're like, we're not gonna get along, but like
we can tolerate it.
Yeah, I respect you for what you do.
Yeah, because Akane tried desperately to get Kana to basically show off exactly what kind of person she used to know. And Akane did what she has been doing for the last couple years, which is if someone else is being shown in the spotlight, she's going to back off.
Yep. And then the collective...
And Akane gets very mad about that.
Yeah, and then Akane and Aqua together are able to get her, like, no, take the fucking spotlight. And then she does. Akane fangirls. It's great. And then they just have, like, we're... All right, truce.
Yeah, it's great. You have all this wonderful times and character growth for all the characters, and then you have the fucking scene where Aqua has to cry, and it broke my fucking heart.
Yeah.
Because literally, so Aqua went through a bunch of training to try and actually get him to be able to, have a proper emotional, like, acting ability.
Yep.
It didn't work, really.
Yeah.
So he ends up having...
He gets a director, Matt Mercer, to come over and help him again. And it's like, all right, we figured it out. You are never allowed to enjoy acting ever again. If you want to do your job right, you cannot be happy on stage.
That shit fucking hurt, dude. That shit hurt so bad.
Yeah.
That accompanied with just the shot of him, like, actually just sobbing.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
God, man.
It felt like a genuine release reading it. Of, like, this is a lot of emotion, a lot of frustration that's just coming out now. And I thought that was really well handled. And yeah, it was just a really like awesome scene for Aqua, who deserved it. And then it kind of, man, Tokyo Blade is just such a good arc.
It really is. Yeah, no, because that's kind of the end of the arc now. Well, I guess the next part of it kind of goes back into the whole why Aqua is doing this in the first place. He collected, dude, the shot, the panel where it's just him sitting in the corner. It has the shot of his eye, and then it's a picture of a bunch of like baggies with like cigarette butts and things. I'm just like, oh my fucking god, dude.
Yeah.
So then it goes into the next arc technically, which starts off with the actor that I mentioned before. I still can't remember his name. But Aqua basically confronts him and shows him a DNA test and says, "You and I have the same dad." I need to know what you know.
Basically.
And the guy basically just tells him, my parents are dead. And that's it.
Yeah.
They're dead. You're good.
Yep. And then Aqua's just kind of like, oh, I have no purpose in my life anymore. And his Hoshangan goes away.
And then he just goes on in life, and he's just totally normal.
Yeah.
Everything is totally fine.
Yep.
Nothing bad happens this arc at all.
Nope. End up getting Strawberry Productions ends up going on a trip to town.
Yeah, so this is much more focused on Ruby as a character as opposed to Aqua, because now Aqua has kind of found his own, and he thinks he's done with everything. Obviously, he's not, but he doesn't know that. We'll get there. Yeah. So they're gonna take a trip to a town to record some videos for the YouTube channel, because they're slowly starting to gain popularity. I think at this point they said that they had like 300,000 subscribers, which is crazy for where they're at right now. Yeah. So they're gonna go to a town. I forget what the town is called.
They go to town, but it's the same town where Dr. Goro's hospital was,
which is where Ruby grew up when she was Serena, and also died.
Yeah. So this town is pretty significant. This town has a lot going on.
You also find out that one of the reasons that Ruby is actually trying to revive Bikomachi was because she's trying to find Goro.
Yeah, which makes sense, because it's like
she's basically trying to lure him out.
Yeah,
and
like that's a whole like I was a kid, and this was like the one like adult that was like always there for me, like childhood crush, whatever. It's like whatever, it makes sense. And then that gets further expanded on later, but for now, that's the motivation that matters.
Yep.
So imagine their surprise when they find his corpse.
Yeah. So actually, Aqua first and foremost with Akane was actually like trying to look for his like corpse, and then kind of explains to Akane indirectly what he went through, because you actually find out that his life as Goro actually was really fucked up too.
Yeah. Where
he didn't have a mom.
Yep.
And because what was it? I forget exactly what it was, but she died of something.
Yeah.
And basically had to live with his grandparents and all that kind of stuff, and he suffered a lot for it. Yeah. And that's why he became a doctor.
Yeah. So he could try to like ease some of that for other people.
Yeah, and then you actually get the panel where he actually finds out that Serena died. Great.
Yeah.
And was screaming to high heaven as to where her parents were, and they just weren't there at all, and yelling about how parents could do that and all that kind of thing. So you get a little bit of background on that. Then you cut over back to Ruby and Kana, or was it Akane, or is it Mem?
I just had a massive revelation about something else.
Okay.
Holy shit! I need to write this down. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and write that down.
Okay, we're taking a break.
Yeah. You fucking keep going on that bullshit. Hold on.
So yeah, you get a little bit more in depth as to why, or as to what Goro's past was, and then you cut back to Ruby and I think it was Akane. I think that's who met up, just kind of exploring and talking about like her past and things like that. And then they came across Goro's corpse. He has the same charm that Serena gave him back before she died, and Ruby kind of fucking loses it. So I just got to the part where they found the corpse. I didn't continue after that because I was just waiting for you to come back.
Okay. Yeah, so they find the corpse. Ruby has a fucking panic attack.
And breaks down, obviously, because she finds out that he still had the charm that she gave her, or she gave him.
Yep. Which is like, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That sucks.
The whole thing sucks. And then Ruby gets the Dark Hoshangan, which, like, Ruby didn't have that before. She was just, like, bright, good-willed. My entire reason for doing this is fairly innocent and noble.
Not only did she get the Dark Hoshangan, she got 2 Dark Hoshangans.
Yup.
And she vowed to find whoever killed both Goro and and her mom and kill him.
Yep.
So now she is the one looking for revenge.
Yep.
And it is. I gotta say, it is so interesting how much they broke down her character from that point forward, and basically just flipped her completely.
And I think it makes perfect fucking sense too.
Oh yeah, no, that would break anyone.
Yeah, I think that there's like been a little bit of criticism of like online that I've seen of like, man, this doesn't really feel like super in character for Ruby, but it's like, no,
That's kind of the point, though.
this isn't in character for Ruby. This is in character for Serena.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
you got to keep in mind they're like the same person.
Yeah, like Serena has been through fucking shit.
Yeah.
So like her having this explicit of a reaction makes perfect sense.
Like you got to realize, like with Goro, you know, when I passed away or when I was killed, you know, Ruby, you know, was distraught about it, obviously, and was like upset about it, but didn't have the same kind of jerk reaction that Aqua had because Aqua had already gone through Serena dying, and I dying.
Yep.
So now Ruby has had to deal with both I dying and finding out Goro dying. So that was kind of her initial, or like her final, like I'm so done with this.
Yeah. And especially considering how much like less emotionally mature Serena was, and kind of as a consequence of that, Ruby is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she was a fucking kid both times. Like so she's fuck, man. I will say this arc is like very like set up. Like it does a lot of like building for stuff to come, and I think that it's like
you also get introduced to this weird little child.
Yeah, we still don't.
Don't really know what's going on with that, but
it's.
She's disturbing and cryptic.
I am convinced. So this is my crazy nutshell theory that I have like nothing basis on. I'm convinced that like the crows, like there's a lot of speculation that the crows have something to do with Amaterasu. I'm convinced that somehow Mem ties into that.
Why?
Instinct.
That'd be crazy.
Gut instinct, but then also like I don't know, in the OP,
it's the devil horns.
in the OP, I remember there being a shot of like the crows appearing either right before or right after Mem.
It was right before.
Yeah,
because I know exactly what part you're talking about.
Yeah,
too.
And I think it's like that's a really weird segue to have into her specifically, because like she's not really like portrayed in any like negative light. It's like I don't know.
If they thought that far ahead with the OP, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Did you see what else they fucking foreshadowed?
Which part?
In like the anime, they foreshadowed a shit ton, like introducing the Darko Shengon way earlier.
Yep.
And then just like how like far in advance everything has been like decided on. Like
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. Akka is very famous for like setting things up and then paying them off like dozens of chapters later.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
So yeah, we finished that arc.
And then we can go into Ruby making it in showbiz.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
Ruby kind of starts off this arc of being obviously very distraught and upset and not sure what to do with her life at this point.
Yep.
Other than the fact she knows that she wants to kill whoever killed Goro and her mom.
So she ends up finding the old director for Starry Productions and is like, okay, cut the shit. How do I make it in showbiz?
How do I be popular?
Yeah, I need to do this. How do I do this?
Yeah, because like we said, now her and Aqua have flipped, and now she is trying to get popular, so she can ascend the ranks and figure out who did it, which is so fucking crazy that they did that.
Yeah, and he gives her like the full step plan. Like, okay, you got to get yourself booked on like any kind of show that you can. Make friends with the assistant director, so then when he starts doing his own stuff, he'll remember you.
That poor guy.
Yeah. Dude, the assistant director gets all the bullshit. Like, he gets fucking nothing.
You look like a My Hero character.
Yeah, a little bit.
Looks like a My Hero character. Like, he looks like he was drawn by the guy who does My Hero.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy for
They call it a favor.
Maybe.
I don't know. But, the
assistant director gets bullied.
A lot. Mercilessly. And Ruby is, like, the one person that's like,
hey, okay?
It's like, hey, man, you chill. What's going on?
But purely because she's trying to be friends with him.
Yeah.
When he becomes a director, then, yeah.
And, like, the reality show that she ends up starring on, like, Aqua's also there, but that's not important because this show is notorious for doing very controversial things.
Yeah.
Like, they bring on this cosplayer and then just, like, very, very disrespect the art of cosplaying.
Yeah. So
and then,
the whole idea for this part of it was that what was it? Comic-Cat was happening.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get cosplayers to do interviews, but it had to be very well-established cosplayers who are doing Tokyo Blade cosplays and all that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
So right the day before they're supposed to do it, the assistant director's like, "Hey, you got approval for us to do Tokyo Blade characters, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Nope. No, they didn't. So they had to contact all of the cosplayers to remake everything.
Yeah.
Which also plays into the fact that when it actually happened, there was one particular cosplayer. I think Mia was her name.
It's not
like
relevant.
She was basically asked very inappropriate questions, like,
Yeah.
"Have you had sex in the costume before?"
Yeah.
Very fucking weird.
Yeah, which is like that's how the show like gets its views. It's very like Joe Rogan, where it just like asks like controversial questions for the sake of controversy, and then she like fucking blows them a new one on social media.
Yep.
And they have to do like a very intensive apology. And Ruby like kind of helps with the apology and like helps get everything like more or less resolved. And then as that's all resolving, they're like she and Aqua are like essentially going home from the studio, and Aqua's like, "Okay, cut the shit. You set up all of this, didn't you?"
No.
And it's like this really like cool like role reversal where like Aqua knows what it's like to be driven by revenge, and he doesn't want his sister to do that because like in his head that's not the role that Ruby should be playing.
Yeah.
And Ruby's just like,
"Fuck you, I'm doing it anyway."
Yeah, I'm going to get popular because it's what our mom wanted for us, right? So that's what I'm gonna do, and fuck you. And that kind of like plays a very big part in setting some tension between them for a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, and that kind of plays into the next mini arc as well.
Yeah, because this was a little bit of a shorter arc.
Yeah, it was short, and it was mostly just to establish that like that's what Ruby's motivation.
Ruby is
now.
losing her goddamn mind, basically.
Yeah, which is very fair. And this gets us to I'm trying to remember. Does this take us into the scandal next?
Yes. No.
Yes, it does. Yes, this gets us into the next arc, where, like, there's like a potential scandal that could be coming with Kana. When she was like, there was this like drinking party with her and a director for a show that she was going to be on. It was either a show or a movie. I can't remember exactly what it was. She ends up going over to his house and they like have a conversation. It almost gets weird, and then it doesn't because she's like, "Ayo,
I got someone I like,"
basically, and he's like, "Okay, no means no. That's cool. I'm gonna stop and just stay.
Respect that guy."
Yeah. if you ever need anything, let me know. Remember, kids, something's more badass than consensual sex. And
we should also mention that I think during this time also Aqua and Akane kind of
they've like decided that they're like dating, not like just for business or anything.
Yeah.
And Kana did not take it very well, which is why she's like trying to do the thing that depressed young women do when they're like driven by love and affection, and they just have the one guy they're trying to get over sometimes, and they're just like, "Ayo, I'm gonna fucking drown myself in whatever man's gonna give me attention." That's happened to a lot of my personal friends, unfortunately.
Yep.
And then they all snap out of it, and kind of snapped out of it real quick and in just the right time.
Yep.
But paparazzi don't give a damn.
Too late.
Yeah, paparazzi caught a picture and was getting ready to write an article like, "What's Kana Arima doing? Is there a man in her life?" Not clickbait.
So Aqua, as a like last ditch effort, I think before this point he also finds out that whoever his dad is not actually dead.
Yes, that also happened, and that like is that he and Akane like broke up at this time as well.
Yep.
And that was a very large part in as to why. When he gets his whole like revenge Hoshingan's back, plural. He has both of his.
He has both
Dark
of them now,
Hoshingans.
just like Ruby.
Yep. So now he's hellbent on revenge again. Says, "All right, Akane, fuck you, bye." And yeah, but there's like one person that he can't bring himself to get caught in the crossfire, and that is Kana.
And that is because if Kana has a boyfriend, God only knows what'll happen.
Yeah.
Surely he doesn't have any experience with that.
Right. So in order to get the paparazzi off of the Kana Arima scandal, he drops the biggest possible bomb that he can after kind of having a conversation with Ruby where it's like, "Would you do anything to save her?" And said, "Yeah, she's my friend."
Well, apparently not, because she was very unhappy about this.
Yeah.
Because Aqua did the unthinkable and revealed to the public that Aqua and Ruby are Ai's children.
Yep. Which is like the holy shit, like bomb
like
to drop.
Like he's really
that.
trying to do this now.
Yeah.
So Kana was saved.
Yep.
Ruby was angry.
Yep.
Very angry.
Yep. And the twins are not on talking terms.
Nope. And yeah, that's kind of where that leaves off.
Yeah, that ends there, and then we get into the next arc, which is the movie, which
yes.
is like
so this is the current arc that we are on right now.
And this is the one that kind of feels like everything has been building up towards.
Yeah.
Like since like volume 1, things have been building towards this.
They are doing a movie about Ai, basically.
Yeah.
And basically her time up until she died.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to plan exactly who is going to be who. You find out that Aqua is going to be playing the Stalker again.
How fitting.
Great.
And there's 3 candidates for the role of Ai, or like who would be the stand-in for Ai. It is either going to be, I think Frill, yeah, Frill Shiranui,
Akane,
or Ruby.
And
they all have like this like impromptu battle where they're all like just like acting, having like an act off, and Ruby wins through sheer determination and
spite.
Basically, yeah. And even though Akane is like definitely the objectively like best fit for the role, she's like, man, I can't fucking bring myself to steal this from Ruby.
Yeah.
I can't, man.
Yeah.
So
that all happens, and then they're kind of starting to get into the point where they're starting to like do stuff with the movie.
Yep. And then it's revealed kind of like they do the whole thing where they like go in a little bit more in depth. It's like, how does showbiz work? How does like doing a movie work? And they're like, yeah, so you have to have people that are willing to give you money. And they find that there's the one person that's willing to give them money. Is Serena's mom.
Yeah.
Serena's mom.
Yep. So they have like this party or get together, and then that's when Aqua finds out. And he's like, Oh god! Oh god!
Yeah,
I don't like you.
Yeah, and because he has that moment of like being Dr. Goro, where he's like, "Shit, Serena really never did get anything, huh?"
Yeah.
And then you cut to Ruby reading the script, and it's like, a mom would never leave her child, right? That would never happen, right? And Kana is like helping her read the script, like, Ruby, are you okay?
Yeah. Like, what's like? Are you experiencing something?
Okay, man. Yeah. And then Ruby is going through some shit because she's working herself to death with her reality shows that she's in, being in Bikamachi, like constant training, reading the script, everything. She is working herself to the fucking bone on top of everything else that she's doing, and she's cracking. She's at the point where she is at her mental lowest and is getting ready to fail and collapse and fall. And then we get to the most recent chapter 122.
She basically screams out, to the void, God, why did you reincarnate me as Ruby after what I had already gone through?
Yeah.
And Aqua is standing
right behind
her.
Yeah. And basically like tries to say like, hey, it's okay, man. Like, we're gonna get through this.
And she's like, I don't want to talk to you. We're still. And he goes,
and importantly, she has this line. She says like, we're not siblings. Don't try to play this role that we're siblings now. As far as I'm concerned, we've never like been anything to each other. And then Aqua says to her, okay, fine. I'm not saying this is Aqua Hoshino. Serena-chan, you know who I am.
Yep.
And then
she fucking loses it.
That like all of chapter 122, dude. Holy shit.
That was a fucking roller coaster.
Like that.
I just read that today.
Yeah, that is the moment that this manga has been building up towards.
Yep.
Like it genuinely feels like this is the emotional apex of the story. We are in the end game now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I almost cried at work when they had the shot of Goro smiling to Serena.
Oh god, dude.
That specific shot had me fucked up. I was fucked up.
And just her turning around and being like, "Are you?"
Yeah. How do you know what happened at the hospital, Sensei? And then she fucking. That's what breaks Ruby.
Yeah.
Like that's when she gets like the bawling, healing, crying that she needed to release.
Mm-hmm.
And
and now here we are.
This series is fucking special, dude.
Yeah,
there's something special about it.
Like I said, dude. I don't read very often.
Yeah.
So for me to finish this in a day and a half, when I had to get through like 80 chapters, that's a lot to go through.
And there's like one thing that I realized as we were like going over this again, where it's like,
was that the epiphany you just had?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what do Goro and Serena have in common, other than they're both at the hotel or the hospital at the same time? Goro's mom died Serena's mom essentially left her life, and they were both reincarnated to Ai Hoshino,
Whose mom died?
who like
Or who
never really had
who-
like good like parents' life. But like the important thing is like
It was a mom that died.
yeah, the two soulless like bodies were inhabited by a man and a young girl who had like no mother, and then their mom died. Like Ai Hoshino died. It's like there's like a lot of parallels there with like
That's disturbing.
yeah. Why was it these two? They needed a mother figure, and then their mother figure got fucking stabbed.
What is happening?
I don't know, man.
It's that little child with the crows.
I'm guessing it's some kind of god.
She's got something.
I don't
That's kind of what I'm assuming too.
yeah.
Some kind of paranormal
Yeah,
deity of some kind.
I think until we get the actual answer for what is like that, we're not gonna fucking know.
Yeah, probably not.
But
So I imagine the next couple chapters will probably be about, you know, Ruby and Aqua trying to figure out what the fuck they do now.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm imagining in my head is they're gonna have like a chapter or two where they reconcile. Like, okay, so like, what is our like dynamic going to be going forward? Are we gonna play the part of siblings? Are we gonna revert back to Serena and Goro? What the fuck's gonna happen?
Yeah, which
That's what I imagine the next couple chapters are gonna be.
there has been some leaks as far as like 123, and people are very
Some people are very upset by
Upset about it.
123.
my opinion on it is because the thing that's going to upset people obviously is if there is a clear indication that there is going to be
If there's a Sweet Home Alabama route, I'm getting upset.
Yeah, that exactly.
I don't think that's the end game. I don't think they're gonna go
For
that
me,
far.
for me, it's two things. For one, it's getting upset at the idea that they have to talk about it is ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because obviously they have to fucking talk about it.
they have to address it because that's what they should do.
Yeah,
And at this point, all cards are on the table. They're going to talk about it.
yeah,
I think Ruby Serena is definitely going to say like she's going to say something, and Goro Aqua is going to say, "Hey, we're fucking siblings.
yeah. We're not gonna do that.
Like we're siblings. Even without that, there was a 16-year age difference between us,
Mhm.
and you were my patient. Like that's just wrong on so many levels.
yeah.
I'm glad that like we have the chance to like reconcile now, but like dog,
Let's relax for a minute.
Yeah. yeah,
I'm glad we could reunite, but Jesus.
yeah,
Yeah, I have faith that it would not turn into that because
Yeah.
that'd be
that would leave a very sour taste in a lot of people's mouths,
yeah. It'd just be a weird route to take it. You
Yeah.
know.
especially when Kana's right there, and Kana needs happiness.
Yeah, because like obviously it's a topic they're gonna have to discuss in the first place. Because like how the
Mhm.
fuck do they treat this?
Yeah.
Because they're siblings, but they're also not siblings.
Yeah,
So
it's very weird, and there's
Mhm.
no like I don't know. There's a correct answer, but it's like, how the fuck are they gonna get there?
how do they get around that without letting their emotions get in the way? Because you have to realize these are the same fucking people. Of course, their emotions are gonna be all over the place in this particular situation because
Yeah.
they know it's the same person that they've been that they were interacting with in their previous life.
Yeah, and especially when,
Anybody who was in that situation would fucking be
Mhm.
confused as to how to feel about it.
Yep. and like especially considering all the other like emotional baggage that they've been going through.
Yeah.
like yeah, they're fucking drained, dog.
But I am confident that when the dust settles and their emotions are a little bit more clear, it will not devolve into that because they're going to be like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
let's not do that.
Yeah, no, I love Yosuga no Sora as much as the next guy. I
Relax.
don't want Oshi no Sora. I don't want Yosuga no Ko.
I hate you.
I hate me too. But yeah, no, I think that this is I am genuinely at the point with this series where it's like whatever the next like 10 chapters are, I want them now. Inject them into my veins, please.
I finished that last chapter today, and I'm like, why don't I have more?
Yep.
Let me have more.
Time to read Kaguya. But yeah, no. Oshinoko to me is just a special story.
Yeah.
There's just something about this series that feels so well planned out that it's impossible to ignore, and I just fucking love it.
You've seen how much this show has just this show / manga has just like pulled me in.
Yeah.
You know,
It fucking topped Snafu. It beat Origairu.
it beat Origairu, which is
Like,
I-
holy
that-
fuck.
Origairu has been my favorite show for like 3 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like that show left such a fucking like
Mm-hmm.
mark on my soul.
Yeah.
that like I didn't think anything was gonna beat it, and
Yeah.
then Oshinoko happened.
Origairu is to you what Clannad is to me.
Yeah.
And both got topped by Oshinoko.
Woohoo!
Because this show is something different. And
It's something different and refreshing and real.
yeah.
You know.
Like there's just this it feels very earnest, and it feels very like this is a series that is bouncing a lot of different issues at the same time. But yeah, it's doing it very well. And then it's just like you can tell that everybody involved wants to write this.
Yeah, no, I like the thing I loved seeing was in my YouTube recommended seeing the like behind the scenes of creating Oshi no Ko as the anime, and just seeing how much like
everybody loved working on this.
Yeah, everyone was having so much fun with it. But like I think it's so important that they did that too, because the whole idea of this show is the terrible side of the Japanese entertainment industry. So they needed to I wouldn't say they needed to, but like it was super cool of them to show that despite all of the terrible things that they're talking about with the Japanese entertainment industry, the people that are working on this are still having fun.
Yeah. Legitimately, everyone that's been involved in this series, like Rie Takahashi, I think, was the voice actress for Ai.
Yep.
And she said before the show came out, like, yeah, I read this story, and this is a very special story that means a lot to me. And that, like, ties into kind of like some of the meta implications of Oshi no Ko, where it's, like, talking about, hey, yo, how do you like get your works to pop off? You have like a really well-established actress, this like sharing screen time with some other up-and-coming actresses, and from then you can continue to build new stars in the industry. Literally what this is literally anime do.
Which is crazy, yeah. Because when you look at the list of voice actors for like the main characters, you have Rie Takahashi, who is like very well established.
Yeah,
she plays Amelia. She plays
Megumin, a couple others, but very well established.
A lot of people know who she is.
Yeah.
But then you look at like Aqua's voice actor, never heard of him before. Kana's voice actor, never heard of her before. Akane's voice actor, never heard of her before. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of voice actors that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And
they fucking like everyone.
They nailed it.
Everyone over delivered. Like it was a little bit weird of me. It's like the voice I had in my head for Kana didn't quite match up with the actual Kana.
I think it's perfect.
But it matches.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah. Like after like the initial shock of like hearing her talk, it's like, no, this fits. This feels right. This feels about right.
I think every single voice that every single character has is just like exactly what it should have been.
Yeah, especially Pieon.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's why I do hope that I don't watch a whole lot of English dubs at this point, but like
don't watch this one.
Is it bad? Look at Dub Kana.
Oh. She's doing her best. This is not the role for her, man.
That's so unfortunate.
It's
man.
like I saw one clip and it's like, man, this is rough.
I really do wish, I mean, not to go like super off topic, but like I really do wish that there was a lot more like love and attention put into like English dubs for anime.
Yeah.
Cuz I feel like especially lately, like they've been like very lackluster. And like you can do good dub animes. Like they exist.
Yeah. It's like a lot of
Code Geass is right there.
I was going to say like there's like a big like 4-ish English dubs that like are universally like good.
Code Geass,
Code Geass, Baccano, Bebop, Full Metal.
Yeah,
like everyone will agree that those are 4 fantastic dubs. A lot of those actors are done.
Yeah.
So like, who's there to take their place? Because like, you're not gonna have those like Steve Blums anymore, and you're not gonna have like, so.
But like you have, I mean, even then you have a lot of really good like either like established voice actors right now or up and coming talent. Like one person that I've really loved seeing what he's been doing recently is Alejandro Saab.
Yeah.
He is so fucking good at voice acting.
Oh yeah, Sayu is great.
Yeah. I would say like, some of you might know him. Some of you might know him as Sayu. He's a VTuber, but he's also at this point a very well established voice actor. He's very good at what he does.
And it's like kind of in the same vein as like Amelie/Monarch. I imagine that a good portion of their income comes from their streams.
Oh yeah,
which is like obviously what's going to take a lot of their time because that's what they make most of their money from.
Yeah, I mean they're both very well established streamers and VTubers who get a lot of money from what they do.
Yeah.
So
it's like I don't blame them for like anything they do, but they're really talented. But then it's like after that, like who are the next like big name voice actors you can think of?
I mean, you also
Critical Role.
You have I mean Matt Mercer, obviously.
Yeah. Just the cast of Critical Role.
Yeah,
it's like a blanket.
You have Yuri Lowenthal. There's a few others too.
They exist.
They exist, but they're not on everything.
Yeah, they're not on everything because they can't be.
Yeah.
So then who else is going to take these roles?
Exactly.
Like, that's
the market for English dub voice actors is just very low, and I mean, unfortunately, part of that is also due to just the conditions and pay.
It does not pay well.
It does not pay well, and it's very unfortunate because there's a lot of really talented people out there.
There are. Like,
do you know who Robbie Damon is?
Yeah.
I fucking love Robbie Damon, and I wish he did more things.
Yeah.
I wish I could hear him in more
dude,
more stuff that I liked.
Do you know what's really funny to me? Like you mentioned Sayu and Monarch earlier. There's actually a lot of voice actors that become VTubers because they make more money doing that.
I mean, that's valid, honestly.
Yeah. There's a couple that I can think of that are like forbidden knowledge, but it's
Yeah, like another one, Xander Mobus.
Yeah,
Xander Mobus is awesome.
Yeah. Why does he not do more stuff?
That's what I'm saying. Like he was Joker in Persona 5, which
he was the Smashy Bros announcer.
He was the Smash Bros announcer for 2 games. He played Dr. Roman in Fate Grand Order.
Yeah.
Like, he's really good at what he does too.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I don't see him ever because he's trying to make money.
Yeah, and that just sucks because there's like a lot of like I don't know, a lot of male roles that are like just hard to do right because you need to have like a specific tone of voice or like be willing to go all out.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot of English VAs just don't have the conditions to go all out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to go all out for a job that you're not being properly compensated for too.
Right.
And yeah, it a lot of times the English dubs nowadays kind of just feel like they're just being put out to be put out so that there is an English translation of it of some kind.
I think the last really good English dub that I watched was Konosuba.
Konosuba's English dub is really good.
Yeah, which Konosuba's English dub is really, really good, but it's like all of the other shows that I've watched that have an English translation, I just don't. Actually, no, that's a lie. Edge Runners had a good dub. I think Cyberpunk Edge Runners had a good dub as well.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
They're like the David's mom sounded a little bit off to me, but everyone else I actually prefer in English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's one of those like either way is fine.
Yeah.
But like it made more sense in my head for these characters to be speaking English, considering it was like an English game.
I just need Matt Mercer to voice everything. Can we just do that?
I was upset that Matt Mercer wasn't in the English dub cast for Konosuba, or not for Konosuba, for Oshi no Ko, specifically to play the director.
Yeah, I mean,
all 2
I feel like he should have been, right?
Because
it literally
like
looks like fucking Matt Mercer.
It would have been perfect.
He was too busy playing Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which, like, by the way, phenomenal.
Yeah. Jeez, like Matt Mercer's really fucking good at his job.
I know. Matt Mercer is crazy good. Who would have thought? But he also makes a shit ton of money off of Critical Role, too. So, like...
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we had to say about Oshi no Ko.
Yeah. If you have not... I mean, if you've gotten to this point and you haven't read Oshi no Ko, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
Go read the... If you just...
Read it again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll probably put, like, a notion at, like, the end that, like, this is where we stop talking about it. But, like...
So here... Welcome back!
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Go read Oshi no Ko now,
please.
This is not a question. This is a demand. You're doing this.
Read it.
Yeah.
Read it.
If you don't, I'm going to
Find
ship
you.
a mysterious box to your house. There won't be anything in it. Maybe.
You won't know.
Legally, this is a joke.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. No, Oshi no Ko is phenomenal. I love it so much.
I feel like there's just so much that anybody can get out of it. Like,
yeah.
I feel like there's something for everybody. So if you have even a slight interest in checking it out, please do. You will love it.
Yep. I think it says a lot when our buddy Zach had no interest in the show.
This guy's like a big shonen fight watcher.
He enjoys his battle shonen.
Yeah.
He went into episode 1 thinking he was gonna get nothing out of it, and then now he's caught up to the manga because like he enjoyed it enough, and he kind of like wanted something to cleanse his palate from all the battle shonen that he watched, and this ended up being that, and he had a great time.
And even if you think you might not like it, maybe you'll find something new that you didn't know that you liked.
And if you don't like it, cool, you're out a couple chapters before you decide to quit. Like it's
I hate you,
dude.
If you don't like it, I hate you.
If you don't like this show, you have bad taste, and you're never allowed to have an opinion ever again.
Facts.
Please watch our podcast.
Please watch our podcast. Teehee.
That's pretty much everything that we got.
Yeah.
Don't know what we're gonna do next time. We'll figure it out.
It might be the video we wanted to record, but again, I'm not gonna spoil it. You'll see what it is later.
Yeah.
So I have been Jace.
I have been Dean,
and we will see you later.
Bye.